What's up everybody, Kyle Session here. Welcome back to another video. This is my Fyter Fest 2021 Night 1 review. I decided to change the name of these videos from a reaction to a review because that's what it is more of that. It's me kind of reviewing the shows, giving my thoughts and opinions rather than reacting. So yeah, from now on my reactions I'm just going to call them reviews because that's what they more are. They're more like reviews than actual reactions because it's not me reacting live and all. It's kind of me after the fact, kind of talking about shows, reviewing the shows, and giving my thoughts and opinions. So yeah, that's why I'm going to change the name from reviews. But let's stop rambling on. Let's get into Fyter Fest. This was a fantastic episode. It's an all-timer episode of Dynamite in my opinion. It was a perfect episode, nothing bad about it. And it's one of those episodes that people will probably go back and rewatch in like years. Like you have those episodes on the Delivery Network that you always tend to go back to. I feel like if there was ever an AEW Network and they had every episode of Dynamite, this would be one people would go back and rewatch. One of the best episodes of Dynamite. And yeah, let's not waste any time and get into it. But before I do, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the show. And let's get straight into it. Opening up was the IWGP US Championship match. Jon Moxley successfully defended against the Machine Gun Carl Anderson. This is probably the match I was looking forward to the most. I was expecting this to main event because, Moxley's return, IWGP title match. But actually, after the fact, the coffin match probably should have main event. Was probably the right choice to main event. And this was the right choice to open. It was a very hot opener. Literally the first thing of the show, Jon Moxley coming out the wild thing, the crowd, live crowd going mental for it. Great way to kick off the show. Then Carl Anderson comes out, Eddie Kingston and Gallows brawl to the back, leaving a one-on-one between Mox and Anderson. Very good matchup, nice back and forth. Carl Anderson hit the gunstone, went for the gunstone off the top, got caught, twisted around, paradigm shift, 1, 2, 3. Jon Moxley successfully retained. Very good matchup. It was nice to see the Machine Gun get that big singles match. That he hasn't really had it for a couple of years, really, since he left Japan. So to see him get, as a big Carl Anderson fan, to see him in that spotlight, it was nice to see him get the big match with Moxley. And Mox, of course, successfully retained. And then afterwards, backstage promo with Lance Archer, who called out Jon Moxley Texas Deathmatch, a rematch of the Wrestle Kingdom match, a rematch for the IWGP US title, the belt that Moxley bet Archer for in the match he bet him in next week on Dynamite. The rematch, Texas Deathmatch once again. So that should be fun. And then there was Andrade backstage promo where he called out, he said to Alex Abrantes that he was looking for Death Triangle. So does this lead to Andrade linking up with Death Triangle, or does it lead to like Andrade versus Death Triangle? Either way, I'm pretty interested, because if we get Andrade teaming with Phoenix and Pentagon and like Pac, that would be some good stuff. Or if we get matches of like Pac versus Andrade, or Andrade versus Pentagon, Andrade versus Phoenix. Either way, I'm excited to see which way they go, because four great talents, that will probably lead to some good stuff. Brian Cage versus Ricky Starks for the FTW Championship was next. Brian Cage lost his championship. Ricky Starks, the new FTW champion. Big fan of this, big fan of Ricky, big fan of Cage. We kind of seen this coming. I'm pretty sure I said in my predictions, where I think this will lead to what kind of happened where Team Taz cost Cage and kind of complete the turn, because Cage was kind of on the line. He was kind of starting to lean towards turning on them. So yeah, this is kind of what happened. Hobbs stopped Starks from using the belt, but then as the referee was distracted, Cage got pushed into ropes. Hobbs hit him with the belt, and I believe Cage then turned around into the spear from Starks. 1, 2, 3. Team Taz celebrate. Taz, who was on commentary, comes down and celebrates. So yeah, Ricky Starks, the new FTW champion, and it does kind of look like Cage has split away. um, from Team Taz. So interested to see where they go with that. If this leads to a big one-on-one match between Cage and Hobbs, I'm all for. Interested to see what they do with Ricky as the FTW champion and where they go with Team Taz and all from here. Then there was a bit of a highlight of Malachi Black debuting last week. Cody then came out. Cody then came out and said, basically called out Black. The two brawl and were separated by security and referees and stuff. Very interested, and it was a nice visual. You have the good fight. You had the good babyface Cody, the blonde hair. He was in a white suit. Then on the other side, you have the long dark hair of Black, and in a black suit. Just very simple, good versus evil, very good imagery. Reminded me of Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Shawn coming down covered in white, and Taker kind of rising up covered in black. Reminded me of that, the white versus the black, good versus evil. So very interested to see where they go. I'm still a Cody fan. I do get where some of the criticism comes from, but in ring, especially in front of a live crowd, Cody has delivered big matches when in AEW, and I feel like him and Black will be another one that definitely delivers. Then backstage, Tully Blanchard was kind of confronted by FTR and not FTR, LAX, Santana and Ortiz, Pride and Powerful, and they threatened to attack him, but in the end they didn't. Then Hangman Page and Kenny Omega had a segment, Tony bit, basically, setting up the future world title match that we all know that is going to happen, which has been the best built thing in wrestling in years. Hangman's rise to this point, to this world title match that will eventually happen, because this direction going. Basically set up a 10-man tag, the Elite versus the Dark Order and Hangman. If Dark Order win, the Dark Order get a tag team title match against the Young Bucks, and Hangman gets his world title opportunity. And if the Elite win, Hangman doesn't get his title opportunity, and neither do the Dark Order. And and they kind of have a face off, and I was just making sure I didn't miss any. I was just making sure that it was both neither. That was the right stipulation. So Elite versus Dark Order set up a future title opportunity. That'll probably be good. I have a feeling this will end with the Elite Hunter Frankie Kazarian probably getting involved, probably costing the Elite, which allows Dark Order and Hangman. Hangman and Kenny kind of had a confrontation, but they didn't end up touching, which I like. I'd love if in the 10-man, Hangman keeps trying to get Kenny in, but Kenny keeps backing away, teasing it, and they don't actually touch until All Out at the pay-per-view. That'd be an interesting way to go about it. And as I said, this has been my favorite storyline, my favorite build in wrestling in years. So very excited for this potential Hangman and Kenny matchup. Chris Jericho was backstage basically talking about the stipulations MJF laid down last week. Spears and MJF then attack Jericho, and next week Jericho faces Jericho faces Spears in a match where Spears can use a chair and Jericho can't. So basically, because Jericho has to go through these stipulations before he can get his shot at MJF. Matt Hardy versus Christian Cage. Fantastic matchup. Don't think it's a surprise to anyone that these two have had a great match together. Everyone knows the history between the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian. And this was a very fun, very good matchup. Very kind of old school WWE TV match, which was good. It was fresh because it's something you haven't really seen since Ruthless Aggression Attitude Era. And very enjoyable match. Christian getting the win with the unprettier, the kill switch he calls it. But I loved this matchup. Very fun match. Definitely highly recommend watching it. Post match, AFFO tried to surround Christian, about to beat him down. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus come out. Of course, they've kind of been teasing stuff between these two and Christian over the past couple of weeks. And Christian, as he's in the corner doing like his pose, Luchasaurus comes, puts him on his shoulders, and there's a little look between Jungle Boy and Christian. So interested to see if that leads to anything. But yeah, then a video package just recapping Miro's TNT Championship run, and at the end they reveal a new TNT belt for Miro. It was a white strap, there was green on it. Yeah, very nice looking belt. I do like the look of it from what I've seen. So yeah, very interested to see what is next for Miro in his TNT title reign. Then there was just Britt Baker cutting a promo on her match against Nyla Rose next week. They cut backstage then after the promo to a very nice shot. I loved how this looked. It was Nyla and Vicky backstage watching the monitor, but they turned to the camera and cut a promo back to Britt, kind of responding to Britt. And in the background, you could still see the screen of Britt in the ring, like so yeah, I just thought the look of that was very nice and it was well shot. And yeah, that match takes place next week at Fyter Fest Night 2. And then Mox just basically accepted Archer's match backstage before Wheeler Yuta versus Sammy Guevara. Of course, Wheeler Yuta, big independent guy. I've watched him a handful of times, so I'm excited to see more of him in AEW. Of course, he's recently been on Dark and Dark Elevation, and has kind of aligned himself with the Best Friends, which I'm very interested to see where that goes. And I'm very interested, of course, Trent's probably out for a while. He had neck surgery, so I kind of filled in for Trent. Interested to see where that goes. Interested to see what happens when Trent eventually returns. And yes, Sammy, of course, getting the win in what was a very fun TV match. Yeah, not really much to go into details, but a lot of high flying, of course, from Sammy and Yuta. And yeah, I would recommend watching this if you haven't checked it out. Penelope Ford versus Yuka Sakazaki. Actually, before that, there was a segment with QT Marshall backstage with Shivani. Yeah, talking about this trap match with Cody last week, and QT ended up pouring coffee on Shivani's head. Yuka Sakazaki then returned to defeat Penelope Ford. Again, just a lot of good high-flying offense from Yuka Sakazaki. If you've seen Yuka before, you kind of know what to expect. She got the win with the Magical Girl Splash. And yeah, Yuka, it's good to see her back on Dynamite. Even if it is just for a month, I believe, because she's meant to be back in TJPW next month. So, yeah, very interested to see what AEW do with Yuka while she is over there. And yeah, it was good to see her get the win here over Penelope. Then they just kind of run down the card for Fyter Fest Night 2. I won't do because I just did a predictions video for it like I did for this one. Because it's a special event, it's a special Dynamite, so I normally do predictions for them. So I'm not going to run down the card now. We'll wait for that. And then main event, Ethan Page, Darby Allin in a coffin, or I was about to call it a casket match, but they're calling it a coffin match. A casket match is probably a WWE term, but very good match, of course, as you'd expect from Darby and Ethan Page if you followed their independent stuff from like Evolve. Sting and Scorpio Sky kind of brawled in round ringside as well. And yeah, very good matchup. This, again, as I said, with everything, this is probably one of the best episodes of Dynamite. Everything was very good. Darby got the win. He had the skateboard, jumped onto Page. Page fell in the casket. Darby closed the coffin lid and got the win in a very fun match. And then did a coffin drop onto Ethan Page inside the coffin, like through the lid of the coffin. So a coffin drop, a coffin drop, whatever way you want to call it. But yeah, very fun matchup here to close out the show. And yeah, as I said, really loved this episode of Dynamite. There was nothing bad about it. I enjoyed everything on it. An all-time episode. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please hit a like button and subscribe if you haven't. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of Dynamite. And I will see you in the next one.